Once, official history got tired of everyone shaming it, so it decided to shame itself. And it did a great job of it. Historians spent 2 centuries studying the famous heads of Easter Island. They defended hundreds of dissertations on it, understood everything about these heads. And most importantly, they understood why the natives only put up heads without bodies. And only in 2012, after 200 years of studying these heads, did historians decide to dig. They took a shovel and dug deeper than the shoulders of these heads. It seemed they had to dig even longer, and it turned out that full-fledged underground giants with bodies up to 7 meters, covered in complex symbols and tattoos, were hidden underground. When hands with long fingers and perfectly preserved backs with tool marks were pulled from the ground, official history blushed, but the dissertations weren't withdrawn. And most importantly, it turned out, the island isn't a portrait gallery, but a giant factory abandoned in an instant, preserved by the dust of ages while academics argued about nose shapes. But the main comedy began a bit later. Scientists decided to explain how these idols, no longer just heads, actually got there. Local legends claimed the statues walk by themselves. And that's when the officials started clapping their hands. Now we'll rehabilitate ourselves before the whole of society. They proposed a version of vertical transport, saying the statues were rocked on ropes and they walked swaying from side to side. And modern-day testers tried this walking method. They took a 15-ton concrete copy, 5 times smaller than the originals, and on a perfectly flat testing ground, they managed to drag it a couple of 100 meters. You might ask, did they go the whole 18 kilometers from the quarry over hardened lava and sharp hills? You've already guessed the answer. Of course not. Try walking this 80-ton monolith, as tall as a 4-story building, across such rough terrain. And finally, the biggest question that checkmates all science regarding these idols. I mean the idols, not the scientists. This question is buried. For the idols to sink 7 meters into the ground up to their shoulders and sink uniformly, thousands of years of erosion are needed. The officials are stubborn. They're only 500 to 700 years old, they say. Where did 3 stories of dense compacted soil come from in 5 centuries then? The official version, the Indians cut down the forests and the soil simply slid down from erosion. But it's not just the idols that are buried. The entire area where they stand is buried. Where did these millions of tons of dense soil come from? My version, the geologists are right. Geologists see traces here of some global catastrophe, a wave that washed away the previous civilization long before the first Europeans saw these heads. And it's easier for official history to believe in magic dust that buried both the giants and the dissertations of these historians.